In an effort to resolve concerns around live cattle marketing issues, beef producers lay out their plan to improve the industry's price discovery process. Tanner Beamer with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association joins us now with the latest. Tanner, appreciate you being with us. Now, this summer, you all appointed 7 producer leaders to a regional triggers subgroup. Bring us up to speed on those efforts.
You bet. So during our summer business meeting in Denver back in late July, the Live Cattle Marketing Committee, which is comprised of delegates from every single one of NCBA's state and breed affiliates, unanimously passed a policy that basically gave NCBA a direction to go on price discovery. It led to the appointment of that subgroup, as you mentioned. There were a lot of diverse opinions in that subgroup, no doubt. But ultimately, over the course of a couple months, they got together, put their heads together, and compromised in order to come up with this voluntary framework that we think will set benchmarks for the industry to strive towards in terms of negotiated trade to achieve robust price discovery in all of the cattle feeding regions.
All right, so let's talk a little more about those specific elements of the plan.
You bet. So it's kind of a two-part plan, if you will. We're calling it the 75% plan, but really what we're trying to measure is negotiated trade and then packer participation in that negotiated trade. Right now we're focused on all of the data that we can acquire under livestock mandatory reporting so that we can inform that process as best as we can. LMR currently reports all of the negotiated trade volumes from what we call the 5 area out of USDA AMS, and that's really what our proposal is targeted towards. We have some research that was conducted by a researcher out of Colorado State University that shows us what is needed on a head per week volume to trade negotiated to have what we're calling robust price discovery in each of those cattle feeding regions, and the 75% plan gives us a benchmark to try and strive towards those robust numbers so that we can increase price discovery for our producers.
That makes sense. Now, why is NCBA pursuing this voluntary approach, and how do you see it benefiting producers in the long run?
You know, ultimately, we want industry to be in the driver's seat here. You know, obviously, this is an issue that has been talked about at length in the cattle industry over the course of several years, and we know that this is important to our producers, and ultimately, nobody knows how to market their cattle better than they do. And so we want the industry to be in the driver's seat. We want to be able to get down this road in order to increase price discovery in a way that's amenable to them. But also, the policy that passed in Denver that established the subgroup and set us down this path does say that if this voluntary approach fails to meet that negotiated trade robust volume, then NCBA is going to pursue a legislative or regulatory solution as determined by our membership. We're hopeful that we don't have to get to that point. We think that this is a framework that allows for some flexibility, but also puts the pressure on both the buy and the sell side of the ledger to increase that negotiated trade.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all the information you've given us today on this. We look forward to seeing how this plays out. Well, NCBA Director of Government Affairs and Market Regulatory Policy, that's Tanner Beamer. We appreciate your time on this Monday.